really powerful piece. As you see there, it's called Punch, and you played Joan, the mum of the victim, James. And I guess it's a story about forgiveness and people's ability to change, right?
Yeah, absolutely that.
Yeah.
It's based on a memoir by Jacob Dunn, who was the one who threw the punch. He didn't mean to kill James. He was just on a night out. He was drunk. It was classic story of lads, 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 you know. And so I think this play talks about that in really new ways, about toxic masculinity, about alcohol-related violence, all those things as well. Me and Hugh were just saying that, you know, most people know of someone who has experienced the one punch, dying from one punch. It is something that happens, you know, with startling regularity, actually. Wow. And the story follows Jacob and the parents of James, the victim. They were very unhappy with the sentence that Jacob was given in the first instance, and they were very bitter about it, understandably, and weren't getting any answers. And so they wanted to have some contact with him. So they were offered restorative justice, which is something that's still offered so rarely to victims of crime, but actually is a hugely successful thing, and it really, really cuts down reoffending as well. And they started off just writing letters and emails to each other, and then eventually agreed to meet. And the play is sort of it leads up to the moment where James's mum and dad, Joan and David, are in a room with Jacob and what happens next. Yeah. And it is astonishing that they go on to then share a platform and go into schools and prisons talking about criminal justice system, about violence and about forgiveness, restorative justice and redemption.
Now, Julie, in order to do your research for this role, you actually met the real people involved. So we're going to show a picture of you now next to Joan, and the man with his arm around her is Jacob, the man who killed her son. Now, that is an extraordinary photo. How did you feel when you met them both?
Well, Jacob was really, really involved in the rehearsals because we did the play in Nottingham, first of all. It's by James Graham, who wrote Dear England and Sherwood, and he's a Nottingham lad. He was a perfect person to turn it into a play. And so Jacob was in rehearsals throughout, so we knew Jacob really well, and he was incredibly courageous in, you know, helping us to tell the story. Joan we met later in the process along with David, and it was an incredible thing. I met her the night before we went on BBC Breakfast, actually, for the first time, although we'd had a Zoom before that. And she is an extraordinary human being, a very ordinary human being, she'd describe herself as. But I think that what she has managed to do, and I've been lucky to meet several parents in my life who've lost their children to violence, who have turned their life into something meaningful and have had something to say about the world and have tried to change things as a result of it. And Joan is an absolute shining example of that. I mean, the resilience that she's shown, but also I think that now, you know, her and Jacob will call each other friends. Jacob turned his life around completely after meeting Joan and David. He went back to school and did his GCSEs, and then he went on to university and got a first in criminology. Wow. So so he really he owes everything to them.
That is truly incredible stuff. Thank you, Julie. And you can see Julie in the play Punch at the Apollo Theatre in London's West End from the 22nd